Good afternoon, everyone. We're here to convene a special planning meeting to discuss strategic planning for the board in our state. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Evans to introduce our visitors, and we'll start the ball rolling. I do need to know when detention is. I have failed to do my homework. I have good excuses, but when I was a teacher, I had to stay after school anyway, so y'all let me know.
If y'all want to, why don't we do an introduction right quick, just real quick. We'll start maybe, Mr. Stroud, do you want to start?
And just say where I'm from.
Yeah, who you are, where you're from.
Okay, Billie Jean Stroud from New Albany, Mississippi.
And these are all members of the state board. I'm sorry, I should have prefaced that, so I assumed.
Thank you.
Matt Mayo, Flowood, Mississippi.
Ronnie McGehee, Madison, Mississippi.
Bill Jacobs, Brookhaven, Mississippi. Glen East, Gulfport, Mississippi.
I'm Jennifer Nichols. I'm the board attorney.
Matt Miller, I'm from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Mike Pruitt, I'm from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, but a little bit further away. From where?
What
Wendy
does
Barrett.
that mean?
You want to know what that means?
That means he and I are not next door neighbors necessarily.
Notice how he moved his chair away from me when I said that.
It sounds bad that we're both from the same hometown. I want to say, we're a couple blocks apart.
It sounded personal.
Okay.
Wendy Barrett, Biloxi, Mississippi.
Crosby Parker, Gulfport, Mississippi.
And we do live in the same neighborhood and same city over there. That's not true, but that's.
And Crosby is one of our student members of our state board. We have another one that'll be coming on the final interview process. We have two in total. They'll be coming in July. Okay. But Crosby is our senior leader. He is the leader of it, so does a great job. Outstanding mentoring program that he's got going as part of his platform he does. So y'all go ahead and introduce yourself, please. Give us a little information about you.
All right. And we've got a slide where we're going to share the full team with you, but we'll do quick intros now. And then a little deeper dive later. I'm Charlotte Bowling. And I lived for a while in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I got my doctorate from Southern Miss, so that's why I was asking about, all right, how close are we talking? So we're happy to be a part of this. So you're going to hear a little bit more. I knew I wanted to be a teacher early on, and I've had experiences within the district and then at the university level. A variety of different types of experiences, and we are tickled to be with you, and we'll share lots more as we continue. Next, I want to introduce Dr. Reginald Todd to you. I am thrilled that he is partnering with me on this journey with you. So, Reggie, I'll let you take it away.
Yes, glad to be with you all this afternoon. I have a few connections to Mississippi, and I will say the first one is my mentor. One of the reasons I decided to start out as a high school math teacher was originally from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, but she taught over in Florida. I'm so glad that you all created her back then, and then she came to Florida, and I had an opportunity to engage with her and learn from her. I'm looking forward to doing this wonderful strategic planning work and continuous improvement work with Mississippi Department of Education, and you'll hear more about me when my slide is up on the screen, and you can see this beautiful picture of myself as well.
Good one, Reggie. And we have two other teammates who will be joining us at different times. Megan right now is trying to get in, but she's having trouble with her Teams account. And then Tiffany will share a little bit about these two wonderful people who help us along the way. So that's a little bit about us. Dr. Evans, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, so we'll roll through it. So what we have today is you had some pre-work. I know you've taken some time to evaluate that, and the goal here is to get your thoughts on the direction of where this is the very beginning phases of the process. And I believe it was 4 questions. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was 4. They were very broad questions, and again, it's to try to get where you are mentally, if you will, your thoughts on where you would like to see the state end up 5 years from now. And what we're going to do during this, part of this exercise is to start drilling that down some. That was the homework was to get you thinking, and this is to start narrowing a little bit. So if you would, we'll go ahead and get rolling.
All right, thank you, thank you. So, Reggie's gonna drive the slides, as we work through this. This is part of our work plan. So part of what we want to share with you as the leaders of the Mississippi Department of Education, we want to make sure that you are in the know, and we want to make sure that you are part of this driving force of the vision and for the work that we're going to do with our strategic plan. So we wanted to make sure that we brought this to you early so that we could begin this work. So, Reggie, if you'll go to the next one. Our mission as tutor education employees, we are coaches. All of us have had education and experience in education at a variety of levels. All started as teachers in some capacity and have worked forward in lots of others. Our mission always is to create great places to work, learn, and succeed in education. So we partner with people across the United States in a variety of ways, and so we are, again, thrilled to be with you and working with you. Our core focus is always to look at our culture, develop strategic direction and execution, always looking at how we can improve, and then a focus on accountability. We want to make sure that we're holding ourselves and each other accountable to do what we say what we're going to do. Dependability is very important to us. And with that, here's a little bit about me. So, as you can see from the pictures, I've had lots of connections in various ways. So you'll see the picture of me and my husband in the top there. He was stationed at Camp Shelby once upon a time, and while he was doing his work at Camp Shelby, then I was working on my doctorate at the University of Southern Mississippi. We started early. In fact, one of our honeymoon adventures was to go to a baseball game. We went to see the Atlanta Braves, and since that time, we have had a quest of attending all 30 baseball stadiums, National League stadiums, and this is a picture of us at the Dodgers game, and that was number 29. We have one more to go to complete our 30, and the last one is Colorado Rockies. So we'll be doing that next year. And you'll see here, part of the reason that I'm in education is to look at the future of where we want that to be. So in the middle, you'll see my older daughter, Claudia, and my granddaughter, Emily. She's third grade. She's 9 years old, and she does all the things that a 9-year-old will do. And then the picture below that is a picture with me and my younger daughter and her family. And I am right now in Vicenza, Italy, visiting them. They are Dodea teachers here at an Army base, and I'm coming to you from their home here, and this is a picture that we took at the zoo just a couple of days ago. And then my family, my sisters are teachers in Florida. My brother is a researcher, a water researcher. He's a farmer, and has always been leaning into that. And this is my beautiful mother, who is 85 years old and the center of our family. So you'll see there in the middle, so that was my personal side, right? That's always the piece. But in the middle, you'll see that I have K-12 experience. I love being every single one of these leaders, every position, every leader, and value every part of that. At higher ed, same thing. You know, I had lots of different positions, and each one of them, I loved what I did, and really tried to not leave my legacy, but always make the situation better than when I found it, right? Always leaning into that. And I'm a continuous researcher. I'm always looking at areas where we can make education better. So a little bit about me. You're going to learn more as we go through this journey. But next, I want you to hear about Reggie.
Well, I'm Reggie Carr. I serve as a leader coach for student education. Excited about the opportunity to work with you all. That quote in the top right corner, Nelson Mandela, he said that education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. I truly believe in that. I've held various positions. Out of all of them, I would say being a high school math teacher was the absolute best. I enjoyed each and every day in the classroom with my students. And since then, I moved on, became a teacher leader in the district, jumped over into higher ed, worked at a community college as a math professor, university associate professor in math education, teacher education, training teachers, graduate program, department chair, everything there is to do, I've done it and enjoyed doing each bit of it along the way. Those pictures to the right there, that's Houston, Texas. That's where I currently reside. And this summer, my family, we're moving back to Pensacola, Florida, so we'll be able to go to the beaches and also something else, my Mississippi friends. I'll be a little closer to Biloxi. I like to run over there. That's my retirement plan. It hasn't worked out well for me yet, but I love to go over and do what I can when I can. Looking forward to working with you all. Megan has not jumped on. I think she was trying to still access, but Megan Smith is one of our coach associates. She will work with us as well. That's her son, Xander. She's been a teacher. She was a teacher ready advisor. She served as an adjunct instructor and a director of student life in higher ed. We also have Tiffany Latshaw. She has served as a teacher. She has a master's in curriculum and instruction, and she serves as a coach associate with us. She's a member of our team that supports the work.
Reggie, we'll just assume that that trip to Biloxi is a fishing trip and not a card counting trip or anything like that, so.
Oh, yes, I'm going over there to fish.
Okay, I thought that's probably what it was. Yeah.
And we'll go with that one,
Yeah.
yeah. The fish was that one. So I do want to share that Megan sent me a text, and she's watching the streaming, the live streaming, so she's keeping up with us from there. But, she's like, hey, Megan, introduce yourself, please. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for that technical hiccup. Megan Smith, based here in Pensacola, Florida. Just so thrilled to be supporting this team here. I have about a total of about 20 years experience in K-12 and higher education, both on the academic and administrative side. Lived in France for nearly a decade where my son was born and was able to serve there as an ESOL teacher, so lots of experiences there, but absolutely just thrilled to see all of you here today and happy to be supported. Awesome. Thank you, Megan. And Tiffany will join us as well. Megan and Tiffany help keep Reggie and I straight. And when there are hiccups, they help solve those hiccups and help us get all of the things back together that we need working. So we are very, very thankful for Megan and Tiffany and the great work that they do most of the time behind the scenes. So we want to make sure that we thank them publicly for all of that. All right, let's talk about strategic planning. Strategic planning is worthless unless there is first a strategic vision. So we have to think about what success looks like. We have to have in our mind what our goal is and what will success be like when we get there. You did some amazing work. So we've been watching your work on the Padlet and your vision and your thoughts and where you want to take Mississippi, where you see as the future of Mississippi, and we are extremely pleased with this. We want to start with this statement, this quote. That strategic vision is important, so we want to spend time really grounding ourselves in that strategic vision. We want it to be a shared vision, and we need to work toward that. So similar to what Lance said at the very beginning, we've got lots of ideas, and all of the ideas are important. We're going to begin to explore those and narrow those as we move forward. Reggie, on the next slide, you kind of worked through this. So take us through this part.
Yes, I did hear the rumblings at the beginning that somebody didn't do their homework. but, I won't, okay, I'm not passing out any zeros today. We're gonna just give you an opportunity.
I'll pass your test, don't worry about that.
I didn't hear you. What did you say? Missed
I said I don't normally do homework, but I'll make an A on your test.
Oh, there you go, there you go. Okay, if you would, you could pull out your cell phone, or I could drop a link in the chat to where you can view the Padlet, and then I'll also share my screen so you can see the Padlet as well. But I want us to go back to this, and I want us to take some time, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. A number of you have already posted, and that's great, but I want you to take some time to read what your colleagues posted. And feel free to like them at the bottom. You can click like, or you can give additional comments. Because we want to make sure that we're capturing your voice in this vision and what Mississippi education will be like in 2035. Are you all able to access this using the QR code?
He said he was gonna do, link in the chat.
I'm looking. Can I get a few thumbs up if we're good to go? Awesome, thank you. So I'll give you some time to read your colleagues. Feel free to like and make some comments. About 90 more seconds, and then we'll get some chatting about it. Y'all need a little more time, or thumbs up or thumbs to the side? We're ready to roll. Okay, we're ready. So I was just sharing two quick things. My colleague Charlotte made a comment, and I liked it as well, on Bill Jacobs. You started out saying Mississippi hit another education milestone. I love that, another, right? And R. McGee, you said Mississippi does it again, and I love it, right? Because we're saying over the next 10 years, we're saying that the vision is that it's an understood statement that Mississippi is doing what Mississippi does when it comes to the field of education. Just want to give you all an opportunity to share some highlights from what you read, and we want to make sure that you're starring things or liking those comments, and our colleague Megan is making sure that we take some notes. So when you think of this headline that's going to be 10 years from now about Mississippi's Department of Education, or Mississippi just education in general, give me some high-level thoughts there.
Just in general about Mississippi? I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's been laggy, but it has a ton of momentum right now.
Give us a little more context as to what the question, say that again. Like where you want it to be, what you think, say it one, like, yeah, take another stab at it, yeah.
Okay. So more about what that transformation possibly looked like from now to then, what took place, and what's that end product? What was the impact on families, students, and educators in terms of what has taken place over the next 10 years?
So based on what you're seeing, the steps or what it looks like, that transition process, what it looks like, I got you.
For the 10 years.
For 10 years from now,
Yeah.
yeah.
A focus on the whole student.
The whole student?
Yes.
I mean, all these things are pretty consistent. That's a lot of workforce and really driving to have skilled labor and not necessarily just work on college prep, but to have people that can walk out and may not want you to go to college, but can come out and work and support the trades, because that's pretty consistent and a pretty big need in the state.
Thank you. Yeah. And that kind of ties into the whole student in terms of the workforce. We love higher education, but we need those that can get out and get the job done. I know when I have an issue with the plumbing or something, the degrees are great, but if I have to use the facilities or I need the water to run, I'm calling the plumber immediately.
I want our students to love their community so that they will stay once they finish their educational journey.
I'd like to see that the citizens of Mississippi appreciate what we have achieved. We've felt we're always 50th. Now we've reached a level, maybe our education is pretty good and doing the right thing. I'm proud of it.
I'll sum my statement up truly with just, I think, the change of one word in our current mission. Our current mission says to create a world-class educational system. I think you changed the word create to sustain or something prettier, because what we're doing is we're saying that our educational system that will give students the knowledge and skills to be successful in college and in the workforce, and I think to the whole child, and to flourish as parents and citizens. So moving forward, I think the biggest change I would see is simply changing you've got vision, from create to sustain or something prettier along those same lines.
Thank you, thank you. So I have that statement here, as you mentioned, to create a world-class educational system that gives students the knowledge and skills to be successful in college and the workforce, and to flourish as parents and citizens. And I agree, that one word, to sustain it, would be ideal. So we took the time, we looked at this statement, and then we took the time to draft 3 other statements that we just wanted to share with you all and get your thoughts. One is the tech forward and dynamic ground, and it says to lead the nation in an education system that empowers students in the real world, knowledge, digital fluency, and adaptive skills needed to excel in college, dominate in the workforce, and thrive as leaders in their families and communities. The next was more bold and impact-driven, and that was to revolutionize education by delivering world-class learning experiences that fuel academic excellence, workforce readiness, and personal growth, preparing students to lead, innovate, and contribute meaningfully as parents and global citizens. And then lastly, it's more strategic and visionary. It's to drive a bold transformation in education, delivering rigorous, future-focused learning that equips students with the skills to lead in college, succeed in tomorrow's workforce, and thrive as intentional parents and active citizens. I want you to ponder on these 3 statements and the previous one, your current one, and maybe give us some thoughts on the next statement.
I don't see be a participant. When you look at number 3 and you talk about leads with skills in college and succeed in tomorrow's workforce, you know, what about them actually going out and participating in their future, not only now, but also later for their children and grandchildren?
Active participant in it.
Yeah. And we're capturing all of these thoughts. So we appreciate it because your voice is important.
For number 1, I care less about leading the nation. That doesn't matter to me. I care about our students, along with Billie Jean said, where they are leaders and involved in their communities, and they want to stay here and help develop the next generation of people. So I can take number 1, that doesn't ring a bell with me at all.
I agree. We're Main Street, not Wall Street, so I want to know what's happening around the corner.
Like I said, frankly, I really don't give a crap what other people think about us.
Amen.
I care more about the results of the students that we have. I think, part of what I wrote, I think the future, especially for us, is in the CTE stuff. I mean, everybody's trying to produce college students. That's fantastic. Where we can be different is having identifying kids early, maybe even as early as 8th in middle school now, that they can go show them it's not a stigma to learn how to be a plumber. It's not VOTEC anymore. And show them that, hey, when you're 20 years old, you can be making 4 times as much as that kid that's in college and you don't have $100,000 in student loan debt. Those are the type of things that I think are important for us to get ahead, is just meet them where they are. Education is not so much what's in a book or what they learn in the classroom, but what can they do with it? Because everybody learns differently.
And along those lines, help our students to prepare for their future focus.
I see all 3 of those as action plans based on the mission statement that we already have. I think that when you get to be specific with terms like digital and adaptive skills, I think our word that flourish takes care of that, and those become action plans to help us meet that mission, providing the digital world, providing the CTE world, providing the workforce, providing staying home in our state and making us great. So I see those as action plans that can be built upon, but I think the mission we currently have with that one word change probably carries us forward.
And really, at the end of the day, we want people that are working, raising families, and sustaining and participating in community.
We want them to
is really
flourish
what we
as
care
parents
about.
and citizens.
Yep. Tax-paying citizens.
Something I keep hearing that I don't, like, so it sounds to me like if you could put some of this into kind of category would be like, you're talking about creating pathways for all students, how it's you have that university students, you have that community college students, you have that directly to the workforce student, because all that, the word flourish, in my opinion, means we're creating those pathways. So I don't know if there's a way, and I know it's not my
And
section.
again, that's why I
but
say
don't know.
those become action plans that we follow to help us meet our mission. It doesn't have, the mission to me, and I'm the grayest in the room, excuse me, second grayest in. But the bottom line is I like the.
No comment.
You can tell McGee and I have been working together for too long. Superintendent Blood, I guess. I just see that mission that we have now is really summing it up, and I see that we need to do work statewide in the action planning world to meet this mission and get out of the word create and get into the word sustain to show that we are making progress. And in 10 years, if we've sustained that mission with the action plans we can develop, we'll be strong.
Thank you. I agree that one word change is solid because you all already have a solid statement.
I want to ask you a question. Would you want to put the word, obviously citizen is important, but would you consider using the word Mississippian? I mean, because everything, a lot of what's been said right here is people have said, worried about developing, Mississippians.
We want people to have avenues to be able to stay in Mississippi.
I don't know if that's probably, probably doesn't make, I don't know if it matters, but
That's what I commented on, I think it was your post, about creating doctors and lawyers and professionals that stay in Mississippi and increase the quality of life here. And that's what I commented, like making successful Mississippians that want to live here in Mississippi.
And it's back what Matt said, if you build the economic infrastructure in our state, those kids will have a reason to stay here. They don't have to go elsewhere for opportunity, or for quality of life, or cultural opportunities, or everything compounds into one.
And get rid of the Mississippi stigma that, everyone thinks so poorly about our state. And we want a place that you want to stay and.
But, there's some advantage that there's some stigma, so they don't come in California or Mississippi. There's a lot to be said for Mississippi continuing its identity with Mississippians.
we will take them from Boston though, Miss Mary.
I like Boston.
Miss Mary's a good one. She's one of our other board members.
Okay.
The only
Well,
pushback,
thank you.
the only pushback I would give, the only pushback I would give on Mississippi, the only pushback I would give on Mississippi is, does that, if you change that mission to say Mississippians, how many of our transient military that use our state for training and so on and so forth, and are going to go back to their homes, which we want them to do for us, but Virginia or wherever the case may be, when you put the word Mississippians in there, are we saying we're going to ignore that group of individuals, pretty large number that comes to our state for 4 or 5 years?
Especially on the coast.
Tupelo, Meridian,
While they're here, they're Mississippians, as long as they buy in.
Well, there's got to be a regional focus in different areas of the state. Every area of the
Industry's
state's
driven
got a
that way.
different
Yep.
need, and certainly on the coast.
moving forward.
But they're coming to Mississippi anyway from outside.
And a lot of them come back and retire here. I believe that, yeah.
So this conversation is exactly what we were hoping you would lean into. The information and the conversation that you're having, where we began with the headlines and then what does success look like to you. And many of you, if you look and read carefully through the headlines and then the answers, your response to those questions, many of them have common elements. And so what we were looking to see is from the different perspectives that you have as the state board, then what are the common elements that stand out? And those are the pieces that we want to capture and bring forward to you. with the vision statement, the conversation that you had, the vision statement that you have is one that it seems like you guys really lean into and connect with, and maybe we build from that, and we can continue to look at that. Tonight is not a time for us to make decisions on this. Tonight is about the conversation of these pieces. It's a conversation about what success looks like, about those common threads that we want to help expose for you and to you as we begin to build the strategic plan. Remember that we started with this saying that strategic planning isn't anything if you don't have a strategic vision. So we want to spend some quality time making sure we get that vision right, and then step forward into the next piece of this. The action plans and some of those other things will come next, but we want to make sure that we get the vision part of this right. And your comments are, we're capturing these, so our job really is to help guide this process, pull it in, share with you the common threads that you are sharing with us as we go through this journey, to then look at what that might be. So this was our first conversation, and I know you've done strategic plans before. I know you've had these experiences too. We're going to take this from a teacher or curriculum perspective. We're going to spiral this process, and we'll bring pieces back to you at each meeting, right? So this conversation that we had, this was our introduction. The next time we get together, which will be on June 18th, then our job is to bring back we'll consolidate some of the conversations and the information from the tablet. We'll revisit the vision that you guys have shared with us, and we want to refine it a little bit. We'll begin to narrow. We also want to explore the mission statement and what that looks like, the action plan for that. We do want to lean into the Mississippian. Who is that student? And what are the core values in that process? And then we also have, in addition to the work that we do with you as the Mississippi Board of Education, then we also have a steering committee where we are going to share these pieces with them, and the steering committee will help guide this process as well, right? So we have several layers built in. We want the voice of as many people as we can at the table, and we want those voices shared and then consolidated, and then we will share those pieces back with you as the leadership group. Okay, so this is the next piece. So if you take a look at this chart, this is our long-term planning as far as our process of moving through this. And you'll see that we're involving different groups as we move forward. And so we began this work in April. And in April, we began looking at your current strategic plan, your current vision statement, all of those pieces, really looking at the environment of those pieces, and then beginning to work with Dr. Evans to say, to develop this work plan. So this work plan is developed from April to December. Our goal is to have specific meetings with you. You'll note that the dates in blue are the dates where we plan to come on site and share with you and have work sessions with you about our process and where we are with this, and share all of those common voices back with you so that you can hear what is being said by teachers, by principals, by parents, by administrators, and all of those different groups that we're going to pull together, as well as community and executive leaders as well, and legislative. So this chart will show that we begin with we have 3 phases included in here, where we are, and that's what we're exploring now. This conversation, this very rich conversation of where we are and where we want to go. What does success look like? In the middle, you'll see where we want to be. And during this strategic planning process, when we get to this point, is when we will have, Dr. Todd and I will have focus group interviews that we have with specific representatives from your educational and community-based groups, where we ask them specific questions about education in Mississippi and get their input. We will then share that back with you on the dates that are in blue, in June, in September, and in November. And then the final process of this is how we get there. So as we work through this strategic planning process, we want the voices of many people in an organized fashion so that we can make sense of it, right? And then we'll develop this roadmap with monitoring plans to make sure that we keep that goal in mind. We know what success looks like, and then we're taking steps to measure it along the way to make sure that we keep a line of sight on that success. And remember, one of the first slides that you saw talked about the culture and then the strategies that we use in that process. Those pieces will be built into this as we work forward, and including specific groups to give us input from their perspective on what education is and should be for the state of Mississippi. So this is our overall plan. And then, as I shared at the very beginning, we are here to help create great places to work, learn, and succeed. And as you guys talked about, this is for all people, you know, within Mississippi. You want to develop incredible citizens who are honest and curious and live within that world of making their world a better place. And so we want to make sure that they have the tools to do those things. So we're going to open it now. That's kind of our introduction with you to begin this strategic planning process, and let you know the timeline. And then that there'll be other groups who will be joining this. The steering committee will help guide this process, as I explained earlier. We will then report those pieces back to you. And again, we want your input along the way as we go. Are there any questions right now about the roadmap, the work plan that we have, that we might be able to answer at this point?
Room's
I think
awful
everybody's
quiet, no
good.
crickets.
All right. Well, as we said at the very beginning, Reggie, Megan, Tiffany, and I are really looking forward to this journey. We know this is going to be a cyclical fashion, right? Today we talked about what does success look like, and then what might a vision statement be. You gave us lots of input. We'll then begin to refine that. We'll bring it back to you and say, well, what do you think about this? How does this sound to you? This is not our strategic plan. This is your strategic plan. So we want to make sure that we're capturing this in the very best way that we can for you, and help you as you work through this process along this journey. Dr. Evans, is there anything that we haven't covered, or anything that you'd like for us to share?
No, I think that was it. Just, I guess maybe making sure, is there anything that we need to be thinking about coming into the June the 18th meeting? I know you talked about what's going to happen, but is there anything in particular that you would suggest they think about or be prepared to, other than the three things you've already obviously presented in the slides? Anything specific as far as the direction of thinking coming in? Maybe the core values.
We need to think
Yeah.
about that vision statement, and then what that might mean, and then the audience of it, right? So, and you guys are doing that in your conversation. So we'll share back with you, and probably represent the slides and share. We'll pull some common themes. we'll pull some of those pieces together and share back with you so that you have an opportunity to review that before the meeting.
Okay. Anybody else? Good. All right.
very much.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, guys. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for spending your afternoon with us, or your
Oh,
evening.
it's
I believe
nighttime
it's
where
about
she
8
is.
here.
Nice time for them.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, y'all take care.
So I got the solution for Mississippians. You ready?
Yeah.
As Mississippians, we will sustain a world-class, blah, 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 blah. How about that?
The way you get to make the reference, I mean, it doesn't alienate. I didn't think about the military
Well,
family.
you know, you folks up there in New Albany, we just fly free, don't have a bunch of noise taken care of, you just forget about it.
That's it. Oh, no, we believe it. We believe in appreciating.
I was in the dentist office the other day, just to make a point about that. This little kid comes in, and the Arkansas group is in the International Guard, they have the big jets, they make a lot of noise. You remember those days? They make a lot of noise.
C-130.
Long Beach. Oh, no, these are the jets, these are the fighter jets.
Oh,
And he was saying, I can't believe how loud it is over here. We're from Ocean Springs, we don't hear this. And I looked over and said, young man, you're what, 13? I said, that's the sound of freedom, don't ever forget it. And he shook his head.
You want
Oh, yeah, okay.
you want that sound to be your jets flying above you.
I need to ask a
That's
question.
when you're like, you ever seen that movie?
All right, our attorney has a question.
You've probably seen the remake. Oh, no. You saw the original too, okay.
No, yeah, I've seen the original several times.
I haven't seen the remake, but I remember just, probably a teenager, I guess, when that came out.
Which one?
Red Dawn.
It's like,
Wolverine.
that's it. That's it.
So y'all will have a hearing at the June meeting in executive session for an appeal from an OEM decision. The record for that is 275 pages.
Better send us a pair.
Do y'all want it emailed or printed and snail mailed?
I want an email with the highlighted sections that I need to look at by sentence.
I want the AI takeaway.
But we got a 517 page one on the driver ed thing, and got to about page 384 before
Then the new
it became
stuff started.
readable.
Yeah, but before you, that's everything they struck was the first 300 pages.
Yeah.
This is just mostly a transcript. You don't want paper?
I don't
I
want
don't-
that.
Everybody good with email?
No,
Okay.
no paper, no paper.
We're good. Let's make sure you have it
I gotta
paraphrased.
rescan to have AI tell me what it said.
Thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
Any other thing you need to
Nobody
comment
wants
for you
us
today,
to run
Stacy?
two reams of paper and mail it to you?
No paper.
Anything else you need us to do for you today, Stacy?
I think we're good.
Lunch was good today, you put the meeting on?
Yeah.
You liked it, I
That
did.
chicken was, the barbecue chicken was
This
awesome.
was good, wasn't it?
That was good.
We'll make sure and put that down as a
You
request.
just make sure you keep Aaron happy with the fried chicken, okay?
Yeah, where did it come from?
Five of the